Zeta Gre joined us on the Down to Business podcast today. And man, the timing of this episode could not have been more perfect. One, he's our longest episode. But two, he had me on a totally different level from the beginning. He wanted to switch things up with the interview, and I was very grateful and excited for that. So, Zeta Gre, a man who I was able to meet during Tampa Cigar Week out here, a man who wears so many different hats, but ultimately is a true cigar connoisseur. So big shout out to him and Mitch and everything that they're doing with Smoking Graces. So we touched on a little bit of that. We touched on a lot of what he's been doing the last 13 to 14 years to implement himself, not only in the cigar community, but to make sure when you hear his name, you know that it's sending shockwaves throughout the entire world. So we talked about a lot of things that he even spoke into fruition, just some goals. He dropped a lot of gems and a lot of nuggets. And I promise there's something in there for everybody. So I don't know about you, but I got my cigar, I got my lighter. I'm about to go enjoy episode 146, Stick-to-itiveness. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Down to Business podcast. And look, I'm smiling because if you knew what it took to really get this going and really get this curated and everything, man, you would be praying for us right now. But nonetheless, look, sitting down with a very dope individual today, man, somebody who I had the pleasure of connecting with about a month and a half ago at Tampa Cigar Week. So Tampa Cigar Week was ultimately an amazing week long, full of just events, vibes, vendors, cigars, obviously good drinks, good food, good fellowship, good camaraderie, good conversation, but good connections. And that's really why I was able to really kick it with Zeta Gre. So Zeta Gre was somebody who I met at the factory on 5th. Big shout out to my boy Jay Coachman for always curating the vibes, always bringing things together. Definitely got a cheers to that. But ultimately, you know, we got to talking. I found out he was from up north. It was just that type of vibe. I even made some assumptions around his age and was dead wrong and was humbled by that too. But to really see everything that he was doing, to really see, even like I said, we really only tapped in like a month and a half ago, but everything that's happened since then, he's become a brand ambassador for not one, but two brands. He's also, you know, he's brought me on his show and Burn. And I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know that. But to really just see that, to really be able to connect with his network, connect with Mitch, connect with people who he has up north in Jersey and everything like that, man, that was amazing as somebody from Philly. But to really just hear his story, to really tap in with the social media, to really just get a deeper look into him, his energy, his vibe, the love that he gives off and everything like that, man. I'm excited for y'all to tap into it just the same. So, and he even switched it up on me today, man. He was the first person to tell me, let's switch it up, man. Let's add a little, while this is a wine glass, big shout out to my ladies over at Ben Stink. It's not wine in here today. He said, let's give the people something a little new today. So I'm very excited, man, for y'all to hear everything that he has. A man of numerous hats and balance and just really still making it happen, masterpieces. And we even got some things cooking up, some masterpieces cooking up, the art of evolution, everything like that. So for those of y'all who don't know, it's coming very soon. So Zeta, man, to get everybody on the same page, to get everybody back in action for the third time now, how you doing, bro? How's everything on your end?
I'm gonna say it again. Lyrical, miracle, spiritual, criminal, individual, subliminal in the swimming pool. There you go.
And he remembered it. He remembered.
You know what? I love that scheme. I love that scheme. It's corny, but I love that scheme.
I love that. I love that. All right. So one, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know that may be a tall task to do. And then two, just tell us what brings you on the Down to Business podcast today, because you're a man with your own show and Burn just the same. So yeah, bro, let's get into all things Zeta Gre.
Oh man, all things Zeta Gre. Let's see. So you have the father, you have the massage therapist, dancer, songwriter, music curator, dancer, brand ambassador. We at 7. Shit, you know what? When I started counting that shit off, it's a lot, yeah. Just a complex individual. What brings me onto the show, man, I was able to get connected with you via Jay and, you know, have y'all come on and Burn a couple Wednesdays ago. And just to show the love back, like, y'all, I got to get on your podcast. I got to give you that love because you were nice enough to bless and Burn with your presence, courtesy of Jay. And, you know, that doesn't go unrecognized. So it was one of those let me return the love. Let me get on your show. Let me vibe with you. You vibed out with me, so I want to vibe out with you. So, cheers to you.
Cheers to that for sure, man. So I love that. Even it's hard to keep up with everything. You can't even really count it on two hands, let alone one hand. And you can't even keep
I
track. So
know.
much to the point. My man is so involved. He said dancer twice. I don't even know if y'all peep, but he just got so much going on that's just him and everything, man. So all right, I'm gonna kind of give my perspective, and then I kind of want to hear your perspective. So born in the Bronx, New York, raised in Philadelphia. That's me. So growing up, I wouldn't really say I spent a lot of my adult life in Philadelphia. I left for college when I was 18, got my master's at 19, but I was upstate New York, came back to Philly didn't get my master's at 19, got my master's in 2019, excuse me, came back to Philly for a year, left in 2021 ultimately. So never really had much of a social scene there. That was really when the pandemic was going on. And for those of y'all who really are not familiar with how bad the North was affected by the pandemic, we were on lockdown. They were doing the looting. We were under curfew. If you weren't an essential worker, you were not supposed to be on those streets. But we don't listen.
Yo, for
And that's what
real.
it was. I was an essential worker when we were still out there in the streets. But okay, it wasn't really until I got to Tampa where I really became thoroughly immersed in that cigar culture, where I really went to my first cigar lounge, where I wouldn't say I smoked my first cigar. My pops was big on those. So he'd bring them home. He'd go out the country, do different things like that. He'd have that. But for me, once I started smelling, I'd be like, bro, like you got that in the crib. Like, hold on, like, nah, we're not doing that here today. So I step out, whatever. I was used to, people, everybody up north, they got the cigs, they got the blacks, the weed, whatever you want to do. But cigars really wasn't that thing until I really got down here and really saw, wow, like this is not just a thing. This is not just something that you just light up, whatever. It's a culture almost. Like people are talking. There's camaraderie. There's conversation. I met a lot of my fraternity brothers off of this. I met a lot of just people. I met a lot of connections. People are passing out business cards. You get some drinks flowing, some vibes. You got a food truck out there. You can really have a night off the cigars, man. So for you, growing up north, how did you really get immersed into that? How did the cigar culture really become something that you really came to love and adore? Because you're not just a cigar smoker, you're a cigar connoisseur. So how did that really come about for you? How did you really come to love this? How did you really come to appreciate everything that the cigar culture has to offer?
So I'm gonna take y'all back. For anybody that knows the story between Instagram and Facebook, y'all can like tune this part out. But if you don't know the story and this is your first time actually just seeing my face and actually hearing me talk, 18-year-old me had graduated high school in 2007. 2008, I made my way in a 1-year trade school. That's where I became a massage therapist. And while I was in trade school, I got picked up by a guy who became my mentor. I was out doing something where I was dancing, and he walks up to me and is like, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you all the in depth for this because we might be here a while." So he comes up to me. Didn't know who this guy was. He comes up to me and says, "Hey, you're a really good performer. How would you feel about performing 3 days, three Friday to Sunday on the weekend?" I'm like, come on now, like I don't even know who you are. This is some fly by night goofy shit, and I'm not with it. But the approach was like, it's guaranteed pay, 3 days a week, Friday to Sunday. All you got to do is come, dance, do your music, whatever, and and you're paid. I'm like, huh, a little too good to be true. A little too good to be true. My little naive ass was like, hey, fuck it, let's do it. So I get this drive to North Jersey, and before you know it, I'm in this big ass backyard on a Friday looking at everything from the food to the drinks. I'm seeing all these people with cigars and drinks and food, and here I am just a dancing and musicking away. And finally, one of those times that I was there, I'm like, yo, y'all get together every fucking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and y'all smoke cigars and y'all drink whiskey and wine and everything else. You know, what do y'all get out of this? And he gave me this whole spiel of what the cigar culture is, and took me on a journey, a verbal journey. And next thing you know, I'm like, yo, I want to be a part of this culture. I want to merge. So from 18 to 19 years old, I never went to Tobacco University. So For those who know Tobacco University, it's actually a real school. It's actually a real college where you learn cigars and the history. I got the free route. I got the free education. I ain't paid for shit. So I researched cigars, binders, wrappers, fillers, leaves, vitolas, all of that. And I go back and I'm just sounding stuff off. 20 years old comes April 5th, that's my birthday. And I'm like, yo, I'm 20 now. You know, I get my first two cigars and I've been stuck with it ever since. And being able to sound off the wrapper, the binder, the leaf, the filler to my mentor, you know, he's no longer with us or whatever. But being able to sound that stuff off, and you know, he's impressed. I've been in this culture now for 14 years, and at 20 years old, I said I'm going to be somebody or someone in this culture that makes waves. My name is going to be synonymous some way, somehow. 14 years later, well, 13 to 14 years later, here it is. Here I am, a head brand ambassador for Den of Thieves Whiskey, Tristan Lee Cigars. Here I am, a brand ambassador for Tampa Cigar Week. And just the, like you say, you know, the camaraderie, the networking that comes from it, the different people that you meet. It's, you walk by people every day of the week and you don't know who's who. And I said it on my show before, you never know who walks among you and who's connected to who. Well, fast forward, you know, we're here now. You know, I can take you back to September of last year, even months ago. You know, last year before September, I didn't know who Kevin was. I didn't know who John was or any of these people that I know now. I didn't know you. I didn't know Jay. I didn't know Ev. I didn't even know Reg. I didn't know any of you guys existed up until Tampa Cigar Week. I get down to Tampa in September of last year, and before you know it, I'm being asked, how would you like to be an ambassador for Tampa Cigar Week? What? Oh, yeah. And that was just the start of the 13-year journey to get to where I am now.
That's a journey, man. I can't even really, there's nothing in my life I gave 13 or 14 years to, like, willingly. Like, not that I didn't have to. Like, you know, school, obviously we had, like, parents wasn't playing at you. If you're not in school, what you doing? So, but to think about to think about a journey, I'm only 26. So I'm not even really, you can't even, for me, you can just multiply 13 and get it multiplied by 2 and you get me now. But I'm always so humble, but at the same time blown away by journey stories. I will be very transparent with y'all and say that I feel like for some of my journey with the podcast, I thought very selfishly. I'll be 4 years in November, but there were times where I knew what I wanted. I knew what was in my reach. I knew what goals I had. I knew what I wanted to manifest. I knew all of that. But the way I wanted to go about it or how I wanted it to come, it wasn't necessarily what I deserved in a sense, or maybe how it should have came. Or I tell people so much, like, we're not on our time, we're on God's time. But I wasn't even listening to that advice myself. And to just want things, to think selfishly, to think that, oh, if I bring somebody with all these followers on, they're going to promote the episode, we're going to go viral, we're going to go crazy. Oh, well, that was not the case at all. But I also knew that it wasn't anybody who was going to take me out of this game. It wasn't anybody but myself who was going to quit, who was going to turn back. When people hear that I'm a one-man band, I'm a one-man show, they're blown away. But it's also just like, you have to think about it. It became a point for me where it was more than just, it was nothing about money. It was nothing about just being viral, just being famous, just being the podcaster. It was more so just about, I love this. I'm connecting with people who otherwise may not have been able to tell their story, who otherwise may not have gotten the exposure that they truly deserve. And for me, I sometimes feel like I'm not even giving people the true exposure that they deserve. I want everyone. All 141 episodes that I have 141 when I'm recording this right now. When y'all hear it, I'll be further in, but I want every single episode to be a household name. They deserve it. The same way that we shop with all these household names and these brands and these businesses who we can't even put a face to a name sometimes. I want everybody who can get on here and be transparent, who can give their story, who can talk about the ups and downs, who can give the trials and tribulations. I want everyone to be that. And so for me, it was just like, look, man, I I have to connect these people one way or another. I'm not stopping until everybody is connected. And to now see 140 episodes, okay, well, let's go 140 more. Let's go 140 more after that. Let's keep it going. Because for me, like, I think about my first 10 episodes and when I decided to really start making things a series. Well, from there, like, I was just like, well, I'm locked in now. It is what it is. I think about changing locations, changing states, and still recording a podcast. I think about being in basements. I think about being in closets. I think about having to record interviews 3 times because they don't want 2 Black brothers to be great and get on here and spit some gems, man. I think about everything. You know what I'm saying? And for me to just turn back, for me to just not do that anymore, man, I would be doing everybody a disservice. I've never quit anything that I truly started and put my best foot forward to, because I don't put my name on anything. I don't sign up for anything. I don't co-sign anything unless I know that it's stamped by me, one, and I'm going to give my all in every single thing that I got. So to hear that journey, man, to hear how you were thinking at such an age and how you stuck it out, because I know the journey wasn't easy, man. I know it was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of hills and valleys. A lot of trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the easiest thing, especially young, being in college, being up north, being with your friends, being around people who can be enablers sometimes. Sometimes people don't want even more for themselves, and sometimes that can project onto you, and it's not more so that they hate you or they don't want nothing for you, but you can just be surrounded by people who are holding you back. Crabs in a barrel. We see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you were thinking like this at 20, you were speaking like this, you were manifesting like this, but not only did you manifest it, did you speak, you put the work in. Because yes, I believe manifestations are real. We can speak things into existence, but work, faith will take you a very long way, for sure. The size of a mustard seed, they say. But the work has to be done. You know what I'm saying? You still have to wake up every day, grind this out. You still have to wake up every day, put that hat on. You still have to wake up every day, curate a vibe, figure out where this music is coming from, take care of the family, do the cigars, do different events, do different. You said research. You were researching everything to the point where you came to him and you laid it all out. And he sat back like, whoa, what you been doing? And it was for the free. At that, some people are paying millions, I'm probably not millions, but people are paying some good money for this information. I didn't even know some of the stuff that you were just dropping on me. But that just goes to show, you know, when you're really invested in something, when you really love something, when you really put your time into something and immerse yourself into something, man, the possibilities are endless, man. So to hear 13 years, 14 years, brand ambassadors, coming back for the week, coming to Tampa, being able to connect with people, man, that's just the start for you. And it's crazy because, yeah, it took 14 years of just that trench work, or just that foundation, of just that brick by brick. And you still here, you still just scratching the surface just a tad, man. You don't even know where it's going, because if y'all checked out that Ann Burn live that we did a couple of weeks ago, it's done. It's already cooked up. It's just a matter of us just stepping into it, just filling the roles and responsibilities and moving accordingly. So, all right, I hear the journey, I hear the stories, I hear so much of what you do. How do you continue to keep it going, though? How do you wake up every day and just put your best foot forward? How do you wake up every day and really just still have that grind and that motivation to keep going 13 and 14 years later? Because for some people, things can get boring. Things can get old. Things can, you can come across a new venture and just be like, okay, I'm done with this. And it's not to say like, I've watched people do that all the time. I've talked to even people now who are not in business anymore, or who do something else, or who, when they have when I check in with them for the Where Are They Now series, they're doing things totally different. So for you, with wearing so many hats, with having to do so many things, even sometimes having to be in so many places at once, how do you keep it all together and really continue to press forward?
Oh man, how can I say this? I rap from time to time, y'all. So give me like, it's kind of hard for a player like you. Let me show you how a dog like me gets revenue. What you never do is back out. What you better do is get a better view, a better crew. Never let the game get ahead of you. It's a mentality. It's this mantra tattoo that I have on me. It's hustle, loyalty, respect, attitude, drive, determination, power, perseverance, persistence. Being dedicated is like the biggest thing. This mantra tattoo, I can't even show you the way I want to, but it's this little thing right here. It's like wrestling notes. If you forget your lines, you got them written on your wrist, kind of thing. I have to look at that every morning that I wake up, which is cool because I'm right-handed. For those who don't know, I'm a righty, but every day I wake up, it's one of the first things I look at. Hustle, loyalty, respect, and everything's just broken down. If you have a hustle, No one's going to be more loyal to your hustle than you are. Ain't nobody going to believe you more than you believe you. So you have to be you. You have to do you. You have to do this unapologetically, right? The loyalty. How loyal are you to this hustle? How loyal are you to this grind? Whatever your hustle is, whether you work at Amazon, FedEx, UPS, McDonald's, Burger King. I don't knock anybody for where they work. Wherever you work, you got income coming in, good, right? How loyal are you? Respect. Do you respect your hustle? How much respect do you have for your own loyalty? If you don't respect your hustle, if you don't respect your loyalty, ain't nobody else gonna do it. Stand for what you believe in, even if you're standing by yourself, right? The attitude, like, I refuse to not do this, right? I refuse to give up. I made mistakes, but they don't define me, right? The attitude, your attitude is going to shape a lot of your outlook. A lot of ways you move, your attitude is going to be a direct reflection of. So I do my best to keep a certain type of attitude about myself. When I walk, and I got to put a shirt and tie on, I got to walk into somebody's meeting room for and be one of the mind for for whatever project they have. I'm not walking in the room thinking, damn, I wonder if I'm going to like anybody in here. I wonder if they're going to like me. No, the minute I walk in there, I have to remind myself I'm the baddest and most dangerous motherfucker in this room. And it's an attitude. It's as cocky and arrogant as that sounds, it's the attitude that fits me. Hey, this is what this is going to be, and this is how it's going to go. Right. From there, it's the drive. What drives me? What moves me? It ain't the cars, it ain't the women, it ain't the money, it's none of that. What drives me? There's something in me. There's a fire that you just cannot put out. I don't care if I don't give a shit if you're a fucking Aquarius water sign, you will not put out my fire. I will dog walk you before I let you put out my fire, right? The determination. I'm determined to get to where I have to get to. I have a joke that goes, I will push my own grandmother down the steps and trample over my own mother to get to my goal. No one is going to stand in my way. I'll apologize for doing it, but I have to get to my goal. I cannot let anybody stand in my way from achieving what I need to do. The dedication to it. How much time are you willing to put in? How dedicated are you to this craft? Whatever craft is, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether you're about leveling up in the McDonald's world, whether you're going from, being a fry dropper to manager, from manager to working up in corporate and trying to shake up the corporate industry for McDonald's and change things. The power, perseverance, persistence, the performance, all of these speak. And it's just the mindset. The ending of it all is just never give up. Never give up. Those three words, man, they hurt like hell. Never give up will have you back pains, broken legs, busted toes, broken arms, like days of just fucking exhaustion. But never give up. You got a goal that you want to achieve. You have something that you want to accomplish. You cannot give up. The odds will be stacked against you. You cannot give up. And that's the mindset that I have to keep like every day. If I give up now, right, what's that say about me?
Man, I swear I think about that so much with myself just because like sometimes I feel like, and not to say I really think I owe anybody anything or I'm indebted to anything or whatever, but I feel like I'm in too deep. It's just like, yo, I didn't put in, like you said, how much time are you willing to put in? I didn't put in time when I didn't want to put in time. I didn't woke up and did things and I didn't have to. I didn't took back to back to back interviews. I would say one of the most foolish things I did, and it wasn't even really foolish in retrospect, but I look back on it like I'll probably never do that again. I dropped 3 episodes back to back, like back to back to back, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That was one of the hardest things I did in my life because it was just like, wow, one, why did I put this much editing pressure on myself? 2, who told me to do this? Well, y'all told me to do this because I posted the poll on IG and y'all voted, yes, do it. So it was y'all. But me also grinding out and really testing myself and really seeing what I could do, I was like, wow, like, okay. But sometimes I really think like, yo, 140 episodes, nearly 4 years, all of that. Like I've never really dedicated as much time and effort to something willingly as this. Like but there are things that I did just because I wanted to do, or it was a hobby, or it may have been required: sports, school, extracurriculars, everything of the sort. But something that you really pick up, that you invest in, that you spend the money for, that you brand yourself, that you wake up every day. I literally have a message on my whiteboard that has 2 asterisks around it. It says post D2B every day. In some form or fashion, you're going to see the podcast. You're going to see 2 things on my story every day. You're going to see thank you, God, and you're going to see the podcast in some form or some capacity. That's just me. It's ingrained in me. Even when I'm having a bad day, even when I don't feel like it, even when I'm grieving, even when I'm just sad, just motivated, just unmotivated, whatever, you're going to see that podcast, because it's just like, yo, at the end of the day, I'm in way too deep for this. I've spent too much time for this. I gave too much effort to it. I love this. I live, breathe, and die by this Down to Business podcast. This is really my baby. Like man, it wouldn't be nothing I won't do for this, because like you said, nobody is going to go as hard for you, as hard for your vision, as hard for your brand as yourself. No matter how much they love you, no matter how much they adore you, no matter how much they'll say to you about you, tap in with you, everything like that. At the end of the day, you have to do that every single day. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to put in the time, if you're willing to put in the sacrifice, man, it's a totally different just experience, but it's also a totally different appreciation for it. So let's fast forward a little bit. Let's think about once you were immersed in the culture, once you were really comfortable, once you were getting around people, meeting new people, networking, everything of the sort. What were some true learning experiences for you with everything that comes with cigar culture and everything that you were doing? Because I could imagine that for as much as you love what you do, for as much as you were embracing it, for as much as you were meeting new people, as much as you were doing the research and putting the time in, there were also still other things that you were doing. You still live a life. You know, Zeta Gre every day is not just cigars and Den of Thieves and just all that. You know, you had a life. You said you're a father, you're a dancer, you're music, everything like that. So what was really some learning experiences, some stepping stones as you were building this foundation, as you were really getting set into what you wanted to do? What are really some lessons that you learned along the way that really you think, one, kept you in the game, but 2, helped you to keep propelling and help you to keep elevating and help you to really never settle and get complacent?
So growing up for me, right, my mom would always use this word, and the word was stick-to-itiveness. 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 And it's something that you hear so much when you're young. Like, imagine your parent telling you, you don't have the stick-to-itiveness. You don't commit, you can't, you're not consistent with anything. You don't know what it is to commit to something. It does something to you mentally. It does one of 2 things. It sticks with you, or it sticks with you. It sticks with you in the sense of you start to not be consistent, you start to not commit. You start to pick up a project, dry it out, and put it down 2 minutes later. Right? Or you go, it sticks to you, and you pick up a project and you don't dry it out and you don't put it down. You keep going and you keep altering that project over and over and over again, right? You gain that stick-to-itiveness. The same stick-to-itiveness that I have with dance, the same stick-to-itiveness that I have with music, being a musician, the same drive that I have with those things, the same stick-to-itiveness that I have with being a massage therapist, having my own business in it. You know, I'm going to take that same fire, that same stick-to-itiveness, that same consistency, that same level of commitment, and I'm going to stick it right over here, because I enjoy cigars just as much as I enjoy being Zeta Gre. If you take the name Zeta Gre away, I'm still Gre. I still dance. I still smoke my cigars. I still curate music. I'll lock myself in a room and tell everybody else, get the hell out. I'm working. And if you're going to be in this room, you're going to gain something out of here. You're either going to see a mind at work and it's going to inspire you, or it's not. So it's having that level of consistency, that stick-to-itiveness, that commitment. I don't know if I don't realize, I don't think my mom realizes what she did, but shout outs to my mom. She's not even watching this, but she created a monster. There's nothing that you can put in front of me. If I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you, nah, this ain't for me. On to the next thing. You put something in front of me that I'm gonna enjoy, you won't get me to move from it. I don't give a shit what's going on. The house is on fire. All right, well, fucking house is on fire. It ain't affecting me down here, so it is what it is. Oh, this just happened. All right, sad story, but you know what? They either gonna live or they gonna die. It ain't affecting me over here because you put this thing in front of me. And I heard growing up all the time, you're not consistent. You don't have the stick-to-itiveness. You don't possess the stick-to-itiveness. Now I do. Now you can't get me to stop shit. You're like, yo, the ship is sinking. I can't swim worth a damn. I'll find me. I'll cross dress so quick and jump on a lifeboat with everything I got. Don't play. Don't play. Well, I'll go. I'll claim. I'll claim. I identify as such and such so quick. It's the stick-to-itiveness. It's that loyalty. No matter what it is, as long as I enjoy doing it, that's what it's going to be. Lessons that I've learned in the culture, the gems that were dropped on me. No one's going to believe you more than you believe you. My mentor's name was Jeff. Again, rest his soul. That's one of the biggest things that he dropped on me. No one's going to believe you more than you believe you. You have to be you. You have to do the things that you love to do, and you have to want to do them. You want to be a basketball player? You better live, eat shit, sleep, piss basketball. You better not miss a day. You want to be something? You're gonna go out and do it. That's that good old song. If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, then you better wake up and pay attention. I should have that tattooed on my leg somewhere because those words are so meaningful and so powerful that it transcended who I am as a person. It transcended a lot about me. I get people around me a lot of times, and they say you are what you attract. I get a lot of goofy people around me. And lessons that I've learned in this culture, a lot of different people are going to gravitate toward you. It's your job to have the spirit of discernment. I'm very leery of anybody that talks like this. Oh, I used to do this. You used to? You used to? Oh, see, if you used to do something, I can't fuck around with you because your used to attitude is going to end up affecting me. And then I feel as though anybody that says I used to do this or I used to do that, I remember I used to do this, I remember I used to do that. Those words start to shape and take form, and you're listening to this, and that shit starts to manifest in you to where, you have your podcast. You may get to a day where like, you know what? I don't want to podcast anymore. Then you see somebody else doing it, and you're like, man, I used to podcast. I wasn't getting anywhere with it. No. I got to keep them types of people at a way, like you got to stay up in the bleachers and shit because I got the playing field. This playing field from the 50 yards to the other 50, that's all me. This is all Zeta. Whatever you used to do, you keep that shit up there in the bleachers and you don't step on my playing field. The minute you do, I'm going to level this shit. I'm going to sink you because what you used to do, those words become true. And I can't have those words attached to me. That's one of the things I learned, just having the spirit of discernment.
Stick-to-itiveness, man, discernment. I love that. It's always so interesting to me to see the values that were instilled in us early on by parents, guardians, role models, older siblings, anything of the sort, people who we hung around, everything. And to see those really shape and form and you take your own, because I feel like we hear certain things, we learn certain things where certain things are just placed upon us when we're young. And it may not make sense. It may seem unfair. It may just seem like, yo, what is this? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? But as you really grow, as you go through different things, as you experience different things, as you're on your own, as you don't always have that person to look up to go to confide in, to watch over you, to hold your hand and everything, you really start to allow things to take their own definition in your life, their own meaning in your life, and you really apply it differently. I think about so many things that my parents instilled in me when I was young. And it's just like, damn, like, y'all being so strict, or I can't do this, or he doing that, or why they could just talk to why they could just ask their parents, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? It's just a yeah. But for me, I gotta explain to you where I'm going, who picking me up, what time we going, what we doing, what I'm wearing, everything like that. I'm just like, yo, like, huh? When all he got to do is call and say, hey, we going here, we doing this, we doing that. Okay, whatever. And that's not to say anything or compare my upbringing to anybody else's, but it really took me growing older, maturing, to really realize, oh, wow. Parents always said to me, you're going to thank me later. You're going to understand this later. I'd be like, no, I'm not. Because I don't understand it now. So if I don't understand it now, what makes you think I'm going to get it 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 8 years from now? Well, I apologize. Because damn it, if I do, I get it. And I see why. And I thank y'all for doing, I think, and not just parents, I think everybody around me who instilled those principles, who backed my parents up, who supported them, who were right there with them, vouching for them, who were in my ear just the same, because it shaped me into who I am today. I don't question certain things today, or my discernment is different today because of what was instilled in me when I was younger. My stick-to-itiveness is different now because of how I was when I was younger. You wouldn't let me turn my back on things, or you wouldn't let me amass something or take on something or be in something without putting my best foot forward, without giving my all, without giving my energy, without doing everything for that. And had I not had that, had you just let me do the easy route, or had you just not questioned anything, who knows where I would be, or who knows where my discipline would be, my morals would be, everything of the sort. So, man, I love that just a lot, because it also, one, it goes to show, just like I said, what was instilled in you at the early age. But it also goes to show, too, how as you matured, as you really came to start thinking and making decisions for your own, how that was always in the back of your head. How, yes, you can put Zeta spin on it. You can do what you want to do just the same, but you still don't forget those values. You still don't forget those morals. You still don't forget those principles. How you live it out, it may be just a little bit different because your life is not what it was back then, 5 to 10 years ago. Cool. But the fact that you had that, the fact that somebody was there to say something to you, to speak up, to call you out, to differentiate right from wrong, man, I think that that's so important. But now, ultimately, bro, to really hear that, to really just hear the mindset, but to also really hear how it was transformed and it was shaped in your way, that's just amazing. It's a blessing in itself, because sometimes people, not everybody has the ability to think for themselves, to make decisions for themselves, to mature even. Sometimes some people are really still living in the past, or in what they thought was right, or in how they were raised, or what was instilled in them, and not really shaping that. Yes, you can have, like, how do I say it? You can have a good upbringing. You can have people around you who love you. You can have people around you who support you, but you can also have the ability to think for your own, to shape that for your own, to tailor that how you want to figure out how that fits in Zeta's life, how that fits into Mars' life, how that fits in Jada's life, Kiera's life, anybody on the line, anybody listening to this, how that fits into your life, and shape it from there, So I love to hear that, even though that stuff was instilled in you at a young age, even though some of it may not have even made sense to you, because that word, it would have threw me off. Stick to it. That's crazy. But hearing that now, it's just like, oh, I get that though. And I get it. I met people that didn't have that. I've met people that had it and then it faded away. I've met people that had it and it's still consistent though. And I met people that had it and it wasn't no questioning about it. So I love that. All right. So now I want to kind of bring it to present day a little bit. I want to talk about Tampa Cigar Week. I want to talk about how somebody all the way from Jersey, shout out to the North though, man, I love y'all. How somebody all the way from Jersey got down to Tampa, Florida, and not only got down to Tampa, Florida, but one, left his imprint, became a brand ambassador, connected with other people, and really took advantage of that time and that opportunity. So much so, hey, shout out Den of Thieves, man. Shout out my boy Yo-Yo, man. Shout out to everything they were doing, because they were one of the first tables who I talked to, one of the first people who just caught my energy. I still got the video of Yo-Yo just in there, just getting it.
Yo-Yo was getting it. I can't even front.
Yo-Yo really had that energy, bro, and I love that. So, yes, please tell me how that opportunity, one, came across, how you took advantage of it, and what that experience as a whole was like for you.
Story time with Zeta. So let's go back to last year. leading up to Tampa Cigar Week. The thing I love, I have a love-hate relationship with the digital age. You know, here in this day in this day and time, everybody's connected via social media, right? It ain't hard to get stalked by nobody. It ain't hard to search anybody. It's not hard to follow anybody, whether you know them or not, right? So a friend of mine who I call brother, he went live on Instagram last year. And in his live, uh Kev, they did a live together. So I popped in, I'm watching it or whatever, and I had Ann Byrne going, and I'm like, yo, I want to reach out to Kev and get him on the show, just talk about what he does and everything else. That's always a highlight for me. I always want to highlight different people. I don't care what color, race, creed, religion. I don't care about any of that. Whatever you do, if you're good at something, I want to be able to highlight that on my show. So I reach out to Kev. He reaches out back. And we tried to get a show going where it was going to be me doing Ann Byrne on Facebook and him doing his show talking shit via Instagram. But it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. So we just jumped on Instagram and we ran for like 3, almost 4 hours, just going back and forth. And before you knew it, we came to the conclusion, let's just put our shows together on Instagram. Talking Shit and Burn was born. And it was coming up to the Boutique Cigars Expo. And Kev was like, Zeta, you got to get down here for it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming down for that. I'm a kid from Jersey, Camden to be exact. So for all my Facebook followers, all my Facebook friends, all my Instagram viewers, I'm from Camden, New Jersey. It's not a place that a lot of people get to make it up out of. The life expectancy for you here in the city of Camden, just like Philly, you don't make it past 25. And if you do, that's because you had some parents that was that was tight to your ass. I'm not even going to front. So September comes, I'm on a plane landing in Tampa, and I'm meeting with Kev and John. We do a live together at La Ferona Cigar Lounge. And, we shook hands live. We shook hands even before the live stream or whatever at the expo. And I was being asked by John, the creator, one of the creators of Tampa Cigar Week, how would you like to be an ambassador for Tampa Cigar Week? And I'm like, yeah, I'm jumping on it, because I said a long time ago, I'm going to be someone in this culture. I am going to have my name in this culture. People are going to know who Zeta Gre is, whether they remember Zeta or they know me as Gre or Little Snoop or Young Snoop, whatever. You're going to know who I am. And you fast forward to Tampa Cigar Week, and going in, I didn't know people like Stacy of Strange Fruit Wines. I didn't know Not Your Mama's Cookies, right? I didn't know Artistic Brims. I didn't know any of them. I knew I knew the Tampa Cigar Week team, and that was it, right? I knew Jason from all the Zoom meetings that we had. And again, I'm a kid from Camden, so this was like Fresher, the rapper Fresher, in his moment with Eminem, when he performed with Eminem on stage. He said in the interview, like, I'm a kid from New York. That shit ain't supposed to happen. I'm like, yo, I feel that. I'm a kid from Camden. A network this big ain't supposed to happen for me. Being down here in Tampa, this big ass networking event. For those who don't know, that's what a cigar week is. It's a big ass networking event. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be a part of this. This doesn't happen for people up my way. When you do music up here, people actually have to like you, right? People have to like you to want to even play or bump your shit in their car or on their Spotify or whatever. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of folk up here just don't like me, and I'm 100% okay with that. That's cool with me. I don't give a shit either way. I don't care if you like me or you don't. Like, either way, I still get up in the morning. I still put my pants on just like you do. Here I am, Tampa Cigar Week, and I'm relishing in all of this. I'm just taking it all in, like, yo, I'm really fucking here. Like, this shit is really happening for me. What I didn't expect was everything that was going to come after it. I didn't expect to be a head brand ambassador for Den of Thieves, and that was even a surprise to me. And I'm not somebody who does surprise. I hate surprises. I'm in a meeting with Jason like weeks after Tampa Cigar Week, just a couple weeks ago, a few Fridays ago. I'm up in North Jersey. I'm at a meeting with Jason. He introduced me to the lounge owner. He's like, "Yeah, this is my head brand ambassador, Zeta." I'm like thinking, I'm in my head like this. What the fuck? He say head brand ambassador? What? Shit. Like, I made it. You know what I mean? And hearing those words was like, yo, solidified. It solidified everything. I look back at Tampa Cigar Week. I haven't even done the Tampa Cigar Week photo dump yet. I'm still looking back at those moments of those videos, those pictures, like, yo, all of these moments 14 years ago, I couldn't even dream about being here. This isn't a concert. This isn't a show. This isn't just some, oh, let's go. This was for me, this was a work related thing that turned out to shape everything that I said. Everything came into fruition when it was supposed to. And again, as a kid from Camden, this is not something I could have dreamed up, thought up. When I was fighting to be an ambassador or a rep for anybody, nobody wanted me. Tampa was like, "You want to be an ambassador? I'm here on a handshake deal. Yeah, let's do it." Now, yo, you want to be an ambassador for us? No, I'm good. Because when I had the knowledge then, y'all didn't want me. I have the knowledge and wisdom now. Now y'all want me, but I'm already locked in. I have my family now. The cigar family that I had up in North Jersey, everybody spread out and went their own ways or whatever. But I got to relive those moments, and I get to relive them. And Tampa is my third home. My second home is Arizona, but my third home is Tampa. I have my cigar family. I'm reminded every time I come down there, even if I don't come down there. Anytime I get on the phone with John or Kev or anybody from Tampa Cigar Week, I'm reminded this is my family. This is everything that I worked my ass off for. This is everything that I said was going to happen. I said I was going to be a brand ambassador for somebody. And here it is, Den of Thieves. Here it is, Tristan Lee Cigars. I'm the head brand ambassador. I said I was going to be an ambassador for someone. I'm one of the ambassadors for Tampa Cigar Week. You can't not, where I'm at now, the level that I'm playing at, this is pretty much high stakes poker now. You can't knock me off of this. I worked too hard. And all this because of Instagram.
Hey, shout out to all of them, man. Artistic Brims. Shout out to Strange Fruit. Shout out to Not Your Mama's Cookies. Them cookies was busting. Shout out to
let me say this about them cookies. I don't know what the fuck was in the cookies, boy, but man, whatever they look, Not Your Mama's Cookies, whatever y'all put in them things, boy, y'all had motherfuckers like this, like, yo, y'all got some more of them Not Your Mama cookies. I swear,
I got to the event. I got to the event. Buddy was double fisting the cookies. Like, he had one in each hand. Like, yo, you got to get these. Nah. Shout out to them. Shout out to everybody that was out there, man. Den of Thieves, Strange Fruit, Numbers by Nita, Artistic Brims. I'm thinking of the
Cigar Volume.
Man, it was so much, just like you said, man. It was just so many. And for me to have never really been to like a networking, for me to have never really been to like a cigar week or like a cigar like vibe like that, man, to see really, like you said, bro, just all the networking, all the connections, how everybody just wanted to show and spread love, man. I was in heaven. I was in entrepreneur heaven, literally. Like I was taking business. I still got business cards, all of that, just still connecting with people. I wrote it on my board, reach out to the Tampa Cigar Week contacts. It's just so much, bro, that it really put into perspective for me that like, wow, it's more than just, it's more than just cigars. It's more than just putting some smoke in the air, man. This is family. And it don't matter if you just come to this event. It don't matter if you've been to the events all week. It don't matter if you missed all the events and just tapped in virtually. Your family. And I just loved everything about that, man. So to really just connect, to really just hear so many different stories, so many different mindsets, so many different jokes. We was up till 2, 3 in the morning. I'm just like, wow, like I'm having a ball. Like I'm not even thinking about going home right now or thinking about going to sleep right now. But it was just like, wow, like we've just done so much. We need to go to sleep because we got to be up at the crack of dawn and do it all over again. But it was just like, man, to see everything really come together. I love that. But more so for you and towards you, man, too, you spoke all of this. And it's not even about just speaking, though. You put the effort and the work behind it, bro. And it was just like when people didn't know your worth, when people doubted you, when people second guessed you, when people tried to play you down, you didn't let that take you out the game. Yeah, it might have hurt a little bit. It might have threw some salt on your shoulder, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you still knew who you were. You still knew what you brought to the table. You still knew what you did. You still knew the work that you put in. You still knew back at 20 years old what you could do, the education you was getting, who you was plugged in with. You still knew that you pulling up, y'all shaking hands. He introducing you as the ambassador. Ooh, me? Oh, word? Okay, well, bet. All right, let's do it, bro. I'll never forget when you made the announcement. I was so damn excited, bro. I said, ho, huh? You dropped both of them at the same time. Shout out to the Thieves, shout out Tristan Lee, man. It's just amazing, but it also just goes to show, man, like, just put the work in, put the time in. It's going to come. It may not come when you want it to. It may not come from who you want it to come from. It may not come how you want it to come, but it's going to come. And when it comes, be ready for it. Accept it, embrace it. But also, too, recognize, like, don't just jump on any and everything. I feel like sometimes we'll just take the first opportunity that come across our table, or we'll take the first thing, or we'll take the first person who may sound a little bit good. But just always keep in mind you and your best interest, because like we said at the beginning, nobody's going to go as hard for you, your brand, what you bring to the table, anything as you. Everybody is a brand. Whether you have a business, whether you're an entrepreneur, anything, everybody is a brand. Your Instagram, that's a brand. Your Twitter, that's a brand. Facebook, that's a brand. Website, brand. Everything that you do, you have a digital footprint at this point. That's your brand. If people can't recognize your value, your worth, it was crazy. I was listening to the $1 million worth of game interview with LL Cool J. And man, he put so many things into perspective, because he was just like, bro, like it was certain points where people were coming to me and asking me, and I was giving them my price, and they were shooting it down. And LL Cool J said, look, I'm not the type of person that's just going to tax you. I'm not the type of person that's just going to try to rob the bank from you, but I know the type of influence that I bring. I know what I bring to the table. I know that if you put me on this, it's going to snap out, and I know how I'm going to carry it. So at the end of the day, if you can't recognize that, if you want to dim that light, if you want to knock my shine down a little bit, then I'm going to step back from it completely. And I feel like sometimes we don't want to do that because we get scared. We get nervous. We think about, oh, damn, I ain't had an opportunity in a minute or at all. This is the one right here. If I don't take this, who knows what's going to come next? Well, sometimes you have to take that risk. Sometimes you have to be okay with closing that door, because every door that closes, another one opens. It may not open immediately as you close it. It may not open the next day. It may not open 2 days later. It may take a month. It may take 2 months, 3 months, a year. Zeta just told y'all he was 13, 14 years in before what he really was talking about was manifested. So you mad because you closed that door and the next day nothing came your way? 13, 14 years. Or go through my interviews. We done talk to entrepreneurs 8 years in, 10 years in, 25 years in. Older than me. Some of them been doing this longer than I've been alive. I'm 26. And it's just crazy to think that sometimes, we just get so selfish, or we just get so just in our own mood, or just in our own feelings, that we don't recognize that, hey, it's not always going to come how you want it to come. It's not always going to come when you want it to come. It may not come at all. But do you stop? Do you keep we all stepped into a field. We all stepped into a passion, a vision for something, for one reason or another, for personal gain, for just wanting to put people on, for loving it, for being bored, for pandemic, whatever the case may be. But why are you really in it? And when you really recognize that why, man, you don't question it. You don't second guess it. You don't doubt it. You don't nothing. You keep your faith, you put in that work, and you recognize that it's going to come when it needs to come. Whether it take 13 years, whether it take 33 years, I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
I think about that, and I think about how many people we talk to that have been in the same profession for years. When I used to work at Target, I talked to some people who was at Target for 18, 25 years. I'm like, damn, bro, like I'm 23, 24. Like you've been working here longer than I've been alive at this job every day, waking up and doing the same thing, maybe a different department, maybe a promotion here or there, maybe a location switch. If you're doing this for your 9 to 5, I'd be remiss if I ain't do this for my vision, for what I'm trying to do full time, for the foundation I'm trying to build, for the legacy I'm trying to set. Come on, man. So, man, to really hear your intro, but staple into Cigar Week, oh, I love that, bro. I love that because it went from you making those connections, you making those phone calls, to you really pulling up, to you really seeing the vibe, to you really realizing that you gave that, you were just you were Zeta Gre. You ain't have to fake the funk. You ain't have to give no crazy energy. You ain't have to make give no false hope, make no broken promises, none of that. You just maintain you, that aura, that energy. And at the end of the day, the rest spoke for itself, man. So when it comes to cigar culture, what are some misconceptions? Like, what do people, like I said, I feel like a lot of people tapping in may not really know truly everything that comes with cigars, just the vibe, camaraderie, connections, networking, everything that can be with it. So and I'm even more so interested to hear it because you've traveled so much, even calling Arizona your second home. I've never even been to Arizona, so we definitely gonna have to set something up in that regard. But when it comes to
it's hot. I will say it's hot.
Well, it don't matter who I talk to. I feel like that's the common denominator right there. Everybody gonna say that, and they say it's dry. They say it's dry. So
it's dry as hell.
Yeah, that's what they
take sunblock.
And that's crazy because, man, they be telling me tomorrow you need to put on that sunscreen, that SPF. You need to get right, boy. You dark. Keep that melatonin. So, I mean, not melatonin, melanin, my fault. But okay, cigar culture, 13, 14 years. Everything you kind of been doing, everything you've experienced, people who you talk to, places you've traveled to, like different lounges you've been to, anything like that. When it comes to people who may not be too familiar with it, who may be new to it, who may not know about it at all, what do you feel like are just some common misconceptions or some common myths or just some common things that people may think they know about the cigar world and the cigar culture that may not really be true, or it may really take you being in it to really realize what it's all about at the end of the day?
I've heard this so many times. Cigars will kill you. What do you like? Cigars don't do anything, right? They don't. Cigars will kill you. Cigars aren't any better than cigarettes or anything else. Cigars don't do anything for you. So let me just debunk a lot of this shit now. Nicotine comes from the earth. The only chemical found in a cigar is nicotine. You don't inhale a cigar because it's tobacco in its purest form. So unless you want to cough up your lungs, you don't inhale a cigar at all. Don't do it to yourself. Cigars have a healing property, a healing factor, if you will. The same process that tea leaves go through, tobacco leaves go through. The cigar is not meant to get you high or buzz you or anything else. It's just meant to, it's a nice way to decompress. It's a nice way to decompress. Common misconceptions, like I said, cigars will kill you. Man, look, if my mentor was still alive today, dude would be at least in his 80s right now. 70s, 80s, give or take. All the people that I know smoke cigars are in some of the best fucking condition of their life. I know people that have been smoking cigars 25, 30 years. I've only been doing it 14 years. Again, as of April 5th, I've been a cigar smoker for 14 years. And, oh, smoking a cigar is going to age you. Do I look 34? No, I do not. I've learned that I taught people and saying, hey, look, yo, cigars actually slow your aging process down a lot, aside, as well as working out and properly taking care of yourself. But cigar smoking has slowed my aging process down. I ain't gonna throw nobody out there, but I know people in my age bracket that look like they grew up in the rough streets of New York, and they look rough. You my age, and I'm trying to figure out why you look like you old, why you old looking and decrepit. You look damn near falling apart and shit. What the fuck happened to you? And when I drop these gems about the cigars, they're like, what? But still, I can't do it. I gotta do this. That's cool, to each his own. I know what cigars have done for me, how much peace and tranquility they have brought me. I know these things for myself. I can't speak on anybody else's behalf, but you look at you look at Kev, you look at John, you look at the whole Tampa Cigar Week team. I'm not throwing anybody's ages out there because they ain't about to come for me. Like, hey Zeta, you was on that interview, you was throwing our ages out there and shit, right? Nah, we're not going to do that. But you look at one of my favorite people, I'll just name a few on Instagram. Seven Defined, Anya Ramirez, one of the Tampa Cigar Week ambassadors, Paula, another one, Elaine, Juju. You look at these women, you look at some of these men, again, Kevin, John, my brother Layel. You look at these guys and you don't know how old any of these people are. You look at my guy, Mr. Cigars 36. You look at these people who smoke these cigars and you're like, man, like, they ain't aged a fucking day. I'm not going to throw Seven's age out there at all because, she ain't about to, like, see this interview and be like, hey, Zeta, we got to talk. Like, nah. Much love to you, Seven. Same thing with Anya. You look at these people, you look at a lot of these ladies and gents, and you're like, yo, a cigar has you looking that young. Like, even at work, people cannot believe that I'm 34. Everywhere I go, I'm glad that I still get carded if I go to the liquor store. So when you throw this little cigar in my mix and in my life, I'm at peace. I'll sit. I'm the type of person. Look, I'll ride down to the beach and get all the way in the water as deep as I can't swim worth shit, y'all. So I'll ride to the beach, get in the water, get my cigar, and just sit my ass down like this. And I'm at total peace. Don't shit else matter. Again, yo, so and so house is on fire. I don't know what to tell them. I hope they are. You're not gonna call. I'm smoking right now. Cigars bring a level of peace, a level of clarity. You got, for me, I'm a person, I have a moderate case of ADHD. I'm not even going front. I got a million things running through my mind at one time, so it's amazing that I'm able to focus on something, right? But I know how to bounce around and stay focused on each of those things. Cigar was able to slow me down, stop and smell the flowers. I used to run through life like, yo, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I never stopped to smell the flowers and enjoy life. You know what I mean? Now, 14 years in the game of smoking cigars. Before I started smoking cigars, that was me. Like, gotta run, gotta be on the move. Put a cigar in my hand. I'm like, man, listen, this is the story of the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. That rabbit was so fast, that motherfucker then went here, took a nap. That tortoise was just like, yep, yep. That's nice over there. Look at those flowers. Look at the sun beaming all high, and it's got the sky lit up, and looks like Jesus himself is coming. Looks like the second coming of Jesus. Who won that race? The tortoise, right? So cigars are just that. They are a healing property. They are that camaraderie that brings people together in the craziest of ways. It's the brothers and sisters of the leaf. It's just meeting people that you don't even know. You walk into a lounge, and I'm gonna use this comparison. You see a girl in the mall with a nice outfit. You compliment her. She's like, "Ah, ew," like whatever, right? Automatic thought is, "Oh, you hitting on me?" Nah, I'm just complimenting you. You see that same outfit on somebody like Seven, somebody like Anya, somebody like Remarkable Liz, uh Paula, Elaine, Juju, just to name a few. And it's a simple thank you. Before you know it, what cigar are you smoking? Uh, a Dom Pepin or a Monte Cristo Platinum or something. And before you know it, you have a volley of a conversation. At no point is it, yo, this guy is hitting on me. He complimented my shoes, my outfit, or whatever. The next thing you know, you got a conversation. And before you know it, after that, as that conversation is going, you're making waves. You might find out that one of them people is in real estate. You might be looking for a home. Boom, I'm a real estate agent. Whatever. Now you have that connection, and before you know it, you made a friend. You walked in that lounge knowing nobody. You walked out of there knowing two or three people.
I love
Cigars don't.
Come on now. It's more to it than just what meets the eye. And that's really what I love about it. And that's really what I came to learn about it as well. Because when I really got down here, I was like, wow, I feel like it's a different type of just aura in here. It's a different type of people. It's a different type of energy. They're not here to, it's not the club. This is not a happy hour. This is not, this is genuine connection, genuine vibe, just
Yeah.
talking to people. You could really come in there and y'all could really hit it off over cigars and not even hit it off talking about some dating or moving forward, but y'all can connect. Y'all can figure out how y'all help one another out. Y'all can figure out, oh, she does that or he does that, or oh, whoa. Like I said, I met a lot of my fraternity brothers at cigar lounges and really they were just ready to plug me in. And the fact that I was there and just around and just in that atmosphere and in that vibe, it put me in the room essentially. So
I'm doing an interview, James.
So for the novices, for the even people who may not have touched a cigar ever or anything like that, can we get some Zeta Gre recommendations? Can we get somewhere to start? What do I do? How do I get my foot in the water just a little bit? How do I learn about cigars? Where do I start? What do I do? Because for me, I'm walking into a humidor. It's cigars to my left, to my right, to my back, to my front, to my top, to my bottom. I don't know what to grab. I don't know what a V cut is. I don't know why they lighting this thing so crazy. I don't know why I keep going out. I don't know why everybody trying to let the ash get real long, like it's a competition. Like, what do I do? Where do I start if I know nothing about this?
So one of the things I love about a cigar lounge, if you know absolutely nothing about the cigar or what you're looking for, right? There's a lounge owner. Cigar lounge is the one spot you can go to where you are bound, and I swear you are bound to meet the owner. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can walk to that owner and say, hey, I'm looking for a nice starter cigar. But I will say this. Do not let them give you a flavored cigar. Do not let them be like, yo, here's this Tatiana Groovy Blue. You will be the most hated mofo in the cigar lounge. I swear that shit will throw off everything. The water, the gas, the air, everything. But a nice starter cigar is something, this is just my personal opinion. So nobody come for me. Um, Anything Connecticut. A Connecticut wrap cigar. Make sure it's on a very mild side. Make sure you ate something, and don't smoke the same thing. So a nice starter cigar. One of my starter cigars was actually a Romeo Julieta red label. So I'm taking y'all back to age 20. A Romeo Julieta red label, and my other starter cigar was an Ashton. Both are Connecticut wrappers. Little bit of spice to them, but nothing major. Very mild to medium smoke. That's a nice starter cigar. If you're one of those who are into the flavors or the infused, I would say go the route of Java Mint, Java Latte, Java Red, chocolate. If you want like a liquor, you want to go uh, liquor infused cigar, Hennessy, Makers, bourbon, something. Get your feet wet, see what you like, what you don't like. It's just trial and error. And once you broaden your palate, you start learning different sizes: Robustos, Churchills, Toros, and you just find what you like as time progresses. Uh, One of the honorary people that I know, she likes Robustos. You can't give her a cigar like this size and expect her to finish it. No, I'm not talking on her, but it's a big ass cigar. So my words to her were, you walk into a lounge, you walk into that humidor, and you look for Robustos. I don't knock anybody for what they smoke. If you smoke Lanceros, cool. You smoke that Lancero. I smoke Lanceros. I smoke a little. If you give it to me, I'm gonna smoke it. If I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you this is some bullshit. And even Oliva cigars, those are, I wouldn't say starters, but those are for more like a little a little bit more advanced.
All right, now, look, y'all heard it. I ain't look. What's one man's trash, another man's treasure. One man's trash, another man's treasure. I done talk to people who they recommend this. I get it. I don't like it. Or I done talk to people who, hey, stay away from that. But I get it. I like it. So you really, it's your fancy. It's just like alcohol. It's just like food. It's just like anything. Sometimes I would say with cigars, really, yeah, don't knock it until you try it. But everything is a little bit different. But always don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say you don't know. I was the same way. I was, like I said, you walk into some of these humidors, it's overwhelming. It's cigars everywhere, top to bottom. Names are crazy. You don't know what's going on. Some look like this big. Some is crazy. Some got the little blunt tips. Some they look all they're wild, bro. Like they look crazy. Then they ask you what type of cut you want, and got the ashtray in front of you, and everybody else smoking. And it can get very crazy. But at the end of the day, you do what's right for you. If Zeta don't like it, that don't mean you can't like it. If I don't like it, that don't mean you can't like it. If I hate it, that don't mean you can't love it. Like it's all about what fits your fancy. What's the vibe? Some days it's really about the vibe. Like if you go to a cigar lounge, maybe off a buzz, or you already drinking, you may want something different than if you just came fresh off of work or just on a weekend, or just you lighting up on your patio in the morning or something like that. So it's all about the vibes for the times and everything like that. But no, I definitely do. I definitely do think that as an expert, as a connoisseur, as he called himself, as 13, 14 years in this game, y'all should listen to some of the things that he's saying, because he even put me on some things right now that when I play this back, I'm gonna have to write a couple things down, jot some notes down, because yeah, I'm not an expert by any means, but like I said, it really took me coming down to Tampa to see that vibe, meeting people, to talk to different places, to be in a Black-owned cigar lounge by two sisters and see them really put their thing on. Big shout out to Locked On Cigars, man.
Oh yeah, I love Lock. I
I,
love them. I
I
love
gotta
them
shout them
so
out,
much.
man. They really kill the game, man. And the fact that they curate the vibes from the DJs to the games to the I just love the themes that they do, to celebrating other people, to putting the other Black-owned businesses on, to all the. I'm not gonna lie, one of the most close-knit communities that I really realized is the cigar community. They support near, far. I just seen people that was at Tampa Cigar Week, now they at Houston Cigar Week, now they up north. I didn't even realize different cities was having different cigar weeks, but to see really all of this come together, like I said, they came to Tampa and threw a week worth of events. Man, that was amazing. It was crazy. And the fact that had I not been there, had Jay not inserted himself, big shout out to Coachman, man, Coachman Creations, everything they're doing. But had I not been just in the room, had I not just showed up and made it happen, had I not even liked cigars, I could have told him like, yo, bro, I'm not even a cigar smoker. I'm not pulling up. But no, he said that. I said, oh, you talking my language, bro. I love that. Like, let's like make it happen. And to see everybody, but to really walk in. And once I checked in, I ain't gonna lie, they gave me a little trouble at the check-in. Maybe I ain't say my name right or something like that. I wasn't on the list at the time. I was on the list though. But once I got in there and we really started talking to people, it was like, wow, everybody is family here. It's just a vibe. So really a thing of it's experience. It can be experience, it can be preference, it can just be sometimes you just have to try, sometimes you have to be explorative, everything like that. And I love that about this culture. I love that it's really a judgment-free zone, no matter what you're doing, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what you want to do, what vibe you want to do. It's just open for any and everybody. I feel like for as many cigars that are out there, that's as many preferences, as many opinions, as many as likes, dislikes, anything. So before I before we take it to the last word segment, I'm always curious. On the Down to Business podcast, we like to tap into like what's upcoming or surprises or anything like that. So for what you can disclose without spoiling anything, without giving up too much, without you gonna have people knocking on your door, calling your phone, like, yo, why you come on, bro? What you doing? But what's next for Zeta Gre? What can the people expect for the people who are tapping in for the first time, for the people who've been following you for a minute, for the people who kind of are in between the journey? What's next for Zeta Gre? What's on the radar? What are you thinking about? What's the next moves? Is there another cigar week coming up somewhere? Because I see the city's been going crazy lately, but what's going on? What are you thinking? A man who wears so many different hats, a man who has his foot and just involvement in so many different things. Where are you at with things right now?
All right, so I'm gonna just break everything down like little by little. So I have an event coming up, a sipping light. I have two sipping lights in this month. One June 16th, one June 25th, up in North Jersey. Shout out to High End Cigars and the Cave Cigar Lounge. Doing the Den of Thieves whiskey and the Tristan Lee cigars sipping light. Summertime is now officially here, I guess. Right? I mean, I can't tell. 1 minute and hot as hell the next. There's going to be some dance events coming up that I'm going to be a part of. I'm your traveling massage therapist, so I get around. Not like that. Not like that. Let me just clear that up. Let's not take that out of context. Let's not take that out of context, please. I'm working diligently on a little musical production that I'm hoping that Reg, Jay, and Ev get on. I'm working on something for Ev, putting something together. I'm in contact with Jay. We're actually putting an event together. Talked to a few people about it. Tampa board. I talked to Jay, got the green light. I brought fire. They gave me the green light and stamp of approval. So that's in the works. Can't give y'all too much. If I give y'all too much, I'm gonna have everybody else copying, and we can't afford that. This is an original Zeta Gre concept. Like I said, music wise, I'm always working. I'm always writing something. Even if I don't release a project on my SoundCloud, I'm always writing something. I'm always like pushing the beat pad, always putting something together. Dance is the same thing. Few massage events may be coming up, but they're always going to be like between Jersey and Philly, more so in Philly. Yeah. So it's a lot to unpack. I can't even look. This is one of those times where I'm like on a blank here. I'm like, shit, what else is there? What else is happening? I know it's a lot of dance related events, and that's what I'm really looking forward to the most. A lot of my dance stuff. I love telling stories through dance. I dance as two different people. One of my dance names is The Question. The other one is just Zeta. Zeta by itself. No Zeta Gre, no Zeta Gre baby, just Zeta. I can touch on that if we got time. I'm a musician still, always. And yeah, my fries come with some nuggets in my old age. A couple grains of salt. I got some Goya and some Old Bay. I can give you a little gem for the future. Keep one foot in the living room. Keep one foot in the future and the other in the living room. Live Nation is a monopoly. Hype is something someone needs when fans can't give you loyalty. Be your own hype man. Don't rely on anybody else to hype you up. Always be your own hype man. Again, it goes back to ain't nobody going to believe you more than you believe you. When you look in the mirror, the only person staring back at you is you. Your fans don't stare, aren't in the bathroom with you 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when you wake up. It's just you. It's nothing wrong with taking time to be by yourself. You will learn a lot. I mean, I've learned a lot about myself over the past few weeks from March up to now. I'm still learning things about myself. Um, you're never too old to continue learning. Learning never ends. Again, just these are the nuggets that somebody dropped on me, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to share those nuggets that someone dropped on me and give them to somebody else. You never know what somebody else is going through, and some words of encouragement. It takes $0 to be nice to somebody. It takes zero effort to make somebody smile. A simple hi can change somebody's day. A simple gesture. I just gave a guy $1. What the fuck I can do with $1 in this day and age? Nothing. I gave a guy $1, and I know that's going to be I'm going to be blessed tenfold because I gave $1. I don't know what his cause was or whatever, but I know that's my blessing tenfold.
Damn, I love it, bro. I'm just so, in the short amount of time that we've been connected, I feel like I've been able to gain so much, just gain a different perspective, just look at life differently, but also just be motivated in the same breath and just see everything that you have going on. Like I said, bro, when you posted that about just the brand ambassadors and the opportunities that came your way, man, I was celebrating. Like I may not have been celebrating on that post underneath it, but on my back when I close my phone, I'm just like, damn, like that's amazing, bro. To see these companies just out there to see, and I didn't even know some of the behind the scenes work that you disclosed and what you were doing, but to now really hear all of that and then really see it come to fruition like that, it's like, bro, it was your time, it was your purpose. You were more than deserving of it. Like it was yours. You manifested that, and maybe you didn't necessarily manifest what you have, but you manifested greatness for yourself. And one way or another, it was going to come. Whether it took people denying your worth. Go ahead. I feel like something just came to you.
I had a conversation with Jennifer yesterday, and that conversation was like a little over an hour long. And something that you said, well, she said it, and you just like verified it. I shared, so she's gonna do it next Wednesday, and she was like, a lot of times it's just divine timing, and it's just alignment. And with what you just said was like, yo, Jen just said the same thing yesterday. Like, I'm 34. I ain't about to throw Jen's age out there at all. Like, she gonna be on the show next Wednesday, and she ain't about to have my head. So it's just one of those moments where it's like, age wise, shut the fuck up. Like, don't put her age out there for nothing. Yeah, exactly. Save your ass, right? But I don't know Jen like you guys do. You know what I mean? She's a friend of you and Jay and Ev, and she was your camera girl for that episode that you guys were on. And just reaching out to her like, yo, you don't know me, but I would love to get you on. I would love to get you on the show. And just knowing that she knows what Ann Byrne is, and the amount of, for her, the amount of wisdom and knowledge that she has and what she does, it's one of those things. And when you talk about manifestations, a lot of people don't believe in it, but something that my sister said just coincides with everything that's being said. When you manifest something, you have to see yourself doing it. You have to see yourself in it. If you want that new Cadillac Escalade, right, fully loaded, one of the things you have to do, you got to speak it into existence. You can't sit there and say, oh, I will have the Cadillac Escalade, or I will have that, that new Nissan Maxima. I will have this. You have to state like, yo, my name is such and such. My name is Lottie Dottie, and I am going to have this. My name is Lottie Dottie, and I am going to walk across America. My name is Lottie Dottie, and I am going to climb Mount Everest. My name is, telling yourself I am versus I will. I am is so powerful and so strong that when you say I am, things start unfolding, things start happening. It doesn't happen when you want it to happen because you started saying I am. Once you start saying I am, you have to believe that you are going to do it, that you are going to have it, that you are going to achieve it. And once you do these things, yo, manifestation is a real thing. And you don't know what you miss out on when you don't manifest in something. If you don't believe in you, how do how do you expect anybody else to believe in you? It ain't gonna happen. If I say, when like the smoking graces thing, the original concept of that was my brother Mitch and I coming together over the love of cigars, and I'm the one that got him into it. He came up with a name. I do my, the name's already taken, so he comes up with a different name, Smoking Graces, and I'm like, yo, I like it. Let's run with it. I had this whole concept of what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to do it alone. And I love my brother dearly because I say this, I said it to him on the show, I said it to him in his face, and you know, it's nothing but love. Him getting into this culture at the time that he did was perfect timing, because what ended up happening is he breathed life into a vision that I had. Like I said earlier, you know, I can't get with those people that are like, oh, I used to do this or I used to do that. I want to be around people that I come up with a vision and they're like, all right, I'm gonna come up with some ideas and I'm gonna run them by you. Let's see what we got. Smoking Graces isn't just, you know, a Zeta Gray thing. You know, that's Mr. Mitch and Zeta Gray. And when we put that together and started shooting what we were going to do, that manifestation, like, here's what I thought up. All right, let's make it happen. Let's do this. Something as small as that, to somebody else, that's the most meaningless shit ever, right? Oh, it's just this, it's just that, it's nothing major, it's not even that special. But to but to two guys from the city of Camden, this is what we put together. This is what we came up with, and it's small, but it's already growing. It's kind of like we're already taking people like, yo, this is what we do. Let's make it happen. And before you know it, Smoking Grace is going from this to this to this. It's just like dance for me. I was born to dance. I was born to be a musician. I wasn't born to sing. I used to. I don't sing no more. I rap here and there. I'll ad lib or whatever. But I was born to be a musician. I was born to write lyrics. I was born to tell stories. I wasn't born to be vulnerable. Vulnerable is not my thing. I don't know how to be vulnerable. But if you put me on stage without my dance mask on and say, pick your song, and I need you to tell a story, I can do that. And you can see every ounce of emotion and hurt and pain or whatever I'm conveying. But if you ask me, yo, talk about your feelings, that's a foreign fucking language to me. But life is a stage. Life is a stage. It's up to you to show up and perform. If you want to move the crowd, show up and perform. Everybody's not going to be behind you. Everybody's not going to support you. And that's 100% okay. It's okay for people not to support you. Don't let that discourage you. We'll help Drake and Lil Durk and the baby go 3, 4, 5 times platinum, but we won't help our own homeboy, our own homegirl go triple, double, or quadruple wood in a week. But we'll push the ante for them. We'll bump they shit in the car. Even if you know your homeboy or homegirl shit is trash, at least be real enough to be like, yo, I support you. This is trash. I'm gonna still bump it in my car. I'm gonna still bump it in my house. I'm gonna still bump it in my AirPods, earbuds, whatever. I'm gonna still do it. But after this project, go back, listen to this, and do better. Rock with those people that doing something. Don't get complacent with what people with those, oh, I used to do this, I remember I used to do that. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. I put everybody in the category of a tree. And this is a nugget I'm about to drop, so I hope y'all catch it and eat it. I put everybody in the category of a tree. You got roots, leaves, branches. You are the tree itself. You are that body. You have leaves, roots, and branches. You got people that are like leaves. The wind blow, they over there. The wind blow, they over here. The season change, they wither up and die and fall off the tree. They're not there to provide anything for the tree. No nutrients, no nothing. They give a little shade and that's it. That's it. Once the fall and the winter come, them leaves is gone, right? They unsteady. You got people that are like branches. They say, I got you. You can take a step of faith on me and I got you. I will hold you up. I will support you. And the minute you do, they fall and break up underneath of you, leave you hanging high and dry. Then you got people that are like roots. A tree only needs 2 or 3 good roots to survive. Those roots are your support system. Those roots would be all the people that you need. And as time progresses, you can cut the tree down, but life is still going to sprout from that tree because the roots are still alive. You got people that are like this type of leaf, the leaf that's trying to grow and be something, where you tell them, yo, Mar, that thing you're doing over there is going to cause a problem over here. So I'm going to need for you to fix that so we don't have any problems over here. If you see that person actually putting in the effort and trying to grow and be something, that's a leaf worth keeping around, because that's the leaf that is going to become a root. That leaf is going to become a root. And you don't even realize that that person is just by being around you. You're going to have an influence on them to make them want to be a better leaf, to make them want to be a better version of themselves, to make them want to be better. You're going to be a driving force in a lot of what they do, to the point that they're going to be coming to you as their go-to. Yo, what do you think about this? And you're going to be able to tell that leaf, honestly, it's a really bad idea. And they're going to listen. They're going to hear you out. They're going to feel what you're putting out. And that's good. Tree, leaf, root, branch. Everybody's in the category of a tree. The roots that you want around you, those are the people that you want to hold on to. That's your support system. The leaf that's trying to grow and be something, keep that leaf around. Let the branches fall, let the leaves fall. I learned that when I learned that in dance. It took me forever and a day to get to the level that I'm at with dance and being able to perform on some of the stages that I have. I mean, it took me forever to get into a music video, but I got there. It took me forever and a day to choreograph dance numbers for people, but I got there. It wasn't an overnight thing, but I got there. Patience is a virtue. I have another scroll written on, tattooed on my arm. It's in Mandarin. It says love, trust, believe, faith, patience, long walk. And each thing is a triple entendre. I don't want to bring religion into it, but love, trust, faith, patience, God, yourself, and the right people around you. You got to love you before you love anybody else. You have to trust yourself before you can trust anybody else. Believe in you before you can believe in anybody else, and before anybody else believes in you. Have faith in yourself, and everybody and everything will follow suit. Have patience with yourself and the things that you love, and everything will follow. It's tricky. Life is a long, and everybody's life ain't cut out, as what we make it seem. Don't let my Instagram post fool you. I'm just like everybody else. I go through my shit. Don't let my little cigar videos and shit fool you. I go through my days, man, where I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? But then I remember, I love what I do. When it comes down to dance, I just did a performance a few months back, and I love my sister so much. She owns a dance company known as Allegory. I run with this company, and I still get stage fright. Confessions. I still get stage fright. I've been dancing like for as long as I have, like pretty much all my life. I swear I was dancing in my mom's womb. I still get stage fright. I called my sister up and I'm like, you know, the show's coming up and I don't know how I want to do this and I don't know how to feel and everything else. And she's like, listen, my sister's white, by the way, right? And this is the most gangster shit she said. And this is a woman that when you piss her off, oh, it's scary. But she said, one thing I'm not going to have is anybody body shaming. You're going to be up on that stage and I'm paraphrasing it, but she said, it's okay for you to be vulnerable and this is what you want to do. And she shared the story of Sisyphus with me. And the meaning of Sisyphus, he was cursed. He died, and his eternal punishment was to push a boulder up a hill. And every time he thought he got to the top, started all over again. He got right back down. And you know what? That's the journey of life. A lot of times you think you make it to the top, you get knocked right back down. And it's this constant loop. She gave me a lot of words of encouragement that when the show was done and over with, her husband said to me, you never cease to amaze me. Every time I think there's nothing that you can't do, you always you leave me speechless. You always baffle me. Those words from her husband, who I look at as a brother, were like, oh shit, like, thank you. Hearing the compliments from other dancers, you're mesmerizing to watch. Um, Shout outs to Hannah, who played the role of Amuse, you know, and the clip of my performance is up on Instagram. She said, when we went backstage, she was like, I got goosebumps. Even though I was part of it, I got goosebumps and I almost cried because I could feel the emotion. Shout out to Juju, who saw the video, said, Zeta, incredible job. I could feel the emotion. It's words like that from the people that, from like the most unlikeliest of people. A year ago, I didn't know who Juju was. I didn't know what a Juju was. I knew Juju beans, you know what I mean? Like I knew the little candy, little gummy drops, but I didn't know Juju as a person. But these words of encouragement and these people that I've got the privilege to know over time, when you're in the right place in the right position, the right people will always elevate you into places that beyond the fucking stratosphere. That's the best way I can put it. When you're with the right people, they will launch you, they will elevate you beyond the stratosphere. They launch you so high that they help you spread your wings.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Nah, bro. That's, yeah. And I think the more we embrace, the more we immerse, the more we appreciate, the more we humble ourselves, the more we just recognize that it's really not our way or the highway, the more you start to appreciate that. Everything that you gave, man, while it was perspective, while it was you speaking from you, it's a lot of life lessons in that. It's a lot of gems in that. It's a lot of just, you live your life. Yes, most definitely. But don't be naive to everything that's going on around you. You be remiss to. There's so much happening. There's
I'll
so
even, I'll even go as far as saying this. My daughters are 20. One's biological, one isn't. My daughters are 20 and 6. My oldest turns 21 in September. My baby turns 7 in October. As a person, they changed a lot about me. They they are also part of the drive as to why I take on the amount of stuff that I do. Um, just so they understand, it's nothing wrong with whenever you hear the words can't, take the T off. It's this, I'm hearing these lyrics in my head. I'm not worried about the fame and the fortune. That's never been a thing for me. I don't care about it. When I was younger, yeah, I wanted the fame, I wanted the fortune, everything that came with it. Where I'm at in my life now, I'm so private, it's fucking scary. Your dreams and your reality, you can live those simultaneously as long as you put forth the work and the effort. Every performance that I do, my daughters are always there front and center. And my baby, I love her, will copy every move that she does or every move that she sees me do to the best of her abilities. And it lights me up because I remember being her age, watching Prince, Michael Jackson, Sammy Davis Jr., Chuck Berry, you know, all these dancers, even Elvis. I remember watching all of them growing up. I never had a dance class. And seeing her do that, it takes me back to being her age and going, that was me. That was me doing that at one time. And seeing her love for it. I sit and smoke cigars, and my daughter has her own line of cigar tubes. Okay. She will sit in this lounge with me and her uncle and sip her apple juice or her water with her tube, like she's one of us. And I look back, I look at those moments and I laugh and I smile because I didn't get to experience that. My oldest daughter, I give her gems and nuggets as much as I can for her to hold on to something, for her to go as far as she can in life and never be. The word no doesn't exist to me. Just because you told me no, I'm going to give you 50 reasons as to why my answer is yes. You don't tell me no. God tells me no. If it ain't for me, I'm going to know it's not for me. But I say my name is Zeta Gray. Somebody once asked me, who the fuck do you think you are? And down a list. And that list went like this: Kamikaze, Godzilla, the man that can't be moved, the dominant and iconic, Hellfire Raising Trailblazer. I'm the man that folds pyramids and dance circles around squares. I can fold a fucking pyramid. What about you? Last, but certainly most not least, someone that you're not. I'm Zeta Gray. So shut up, bitch. Watch me work. And after all of that was said and done, they had nothing to say. About 2 months later, they watched everything unfold that I had my hands in, and they were just like, okay, okay. No, so no just does not exist to you at all, right? No, no. If I tell you no, you're just gonna go do it anyway. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go do it anyway because you told me no. I ain't gotta prove nothing to you, but I gotta prove it to myself. I have to prove it to myself.
Hey man, if if you drop any more gems, I'll just have to hand over the copyright of the podcast to you. So
Nah. I can't take the podcast. I do and burn easy.
hey,
Like I get in interviews,
you do
man. I'll
both.
be
You can
like,
do both, bro. You can multitask. You're the man of many names, the man of many hats. You could do it all. Like you said, the man that can't be moved. You can fold a pyramid. I ain't never folded a pyramid in my life, but I believe you could do it. So you know what I'm saying? But no, ultimately, bro, I feel like everything you spoke about today, everything that you touched on, everything that you hinted towards, everything that you reflected on, it's meaningful, it's purposeful, it's a deeper message. And I really encourage anyone listening to this interview, anyone tapping in, whether it be on the live, whether it be here on Zeta's live, anything like that, to personalize that, individualize that towards you, because what he said is not, nobody is, while we're all different, we all go to different paths, different lives, everything of the sort. We all essentially live by the same principles. We all essentially go through the same things. We all essentially think on the same type of trajectory, but it's up to you to really, is this something that you just think about? Is this something that you just kind of let go in one ear, out the other? Is this something that you really immerse yourself in? You take the time to really internalize, understand everything of the sort, man. So Zeta, I got to thank you, bro. I appreciate everything from just the time we connected at Tampa Cigar Week to just now, to just coming on and Burn, to just really you coming back, because I'm excited for really what's to come. This is really just this is really just one brick of many bricks of a foundation of really just a masterpiece being built, bro. And I'm very appreciative that even through all the tech difficulties, even through everything that we experienced tonight, we really made this happen. And I wouldn't have really had it any other way, bro. So I really take my imaginary hat off to you. I got to show off the waves today, so I had to keep it off. But I thank you, my brother, for everything. I'm definitely looking forward to you coming back down. I'm definitely looking forward to making some things happen. But now, arguably one of the most important parts of the interview, whereas we talked about a lot today, whereas you gave a lot today about you, about Smoking Graces, about what's moving forward, about Tampa Cigar Week, about everything to look forward to, about Zeta Gre, even Zeta Gre, baby, because y'all don't recognize he got, come on now. You could address him about so many different things. So now, for the people who want to tap in, for the people who want to learn more, for the people who want to connect, for the people who maybe have some questions, for the people who are interested in Ann Burn, where can we find you? What's the best places to reach you? Social media, website, everything like that. Give us all you got, bro.
All right. So for those who want to be on the episode of Ann Burn, you're going to find me on Facebook, GRE, last name Jones. If I don't come up that way, you just type in ZETA GRE and I will show right up. It's a profile picture of me, the shirt, it's a t-shirt that says "First of all, motherfucker" on it, and it's got my face on it. That's how you'll know it's me. So if you want to be on Ann Burn, if you want to come on the show, you want me to give you an interview and highlight you, I'm on Facebook, Gre Jones or Zeta Gre on Facebook. On Instagram, you're going to find me at Zeta Gre Baby, ZETAGRE BAY. It's an entire rhyme scheme with that name. I encourage everybody, whether you're smoking cigars or not, whether you smoke or not, follow Smoking Graces, SMOKING BRACES on Instagram, and you'll get to meet myself and my brother Mitch, and you'll get to see everything that we are putting together. Mar already follows the podcast, already follows Jay. That whole team already follows. So if you're interested in Zeta Gre, Instagram, Zeta Gre Baby, Facebook, Gre Jones, Instagram again, Smoking Graces.
And I really gotta give a big shout out to Mitch, man. Somebody who I connected with on your episode. But bro, he spit that real, man. He really came on there and made it happen. He surprised the timing and just the alignment of that episode was just crazy. He popped up on you, he surprised you, we made it happen. But that episode, man, it was beautiful. From Reg being there to Evakesia being there to Jay, everything, man. I'm so grateful. I'm very excited for what's to come for all of us together. I'm very excited to get you back down to Tampa. I'm very excited to get back up north and really immerse myself in that culture that they got going on up there now, because I'm definitely bringing a different spin to things. But bro, like I said, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I appreciate you sticking with me. I appreciate everybody on your side for staying tapped in and really making this happen. I appreciate everybody on my side for staying in and really making this happen. But like I said, the Down to Business podcast, Smoking Graces, Zeta Gre, we will not be outworked. We refuse to be. We're in that mode at this point, and we're too locked in. And to hear 13, 14 years on his side and to hear almost 4 years on my side, this is really just, like I said, really just a stepping stone to really what's to come. So to everybody out there who continuously taps in, to everybody out there who showed love to this episode, who stuck with us, who poured up, lit a cigar, put some smoke in the air, tapped in, shared this, reposted this, I thank you. I love you. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast. Here with Tamar Turner.